Yeah, it is. It's a very small field, but quality. We've got Lucy Starrett, Vic Mitchell, Courtney Powell, Genevieve Lacaze, Tali Bird, Kate Spencer, Millie Clark and Gemma Maini.
Yeah, very, very handy field. So we've got a few athletes in this field who aren't qualified in the 5K. They've qualified in other events. So Vic Mitchell and Jen Lacaze there in the steeple. So they'll feature again on Sunday. And Millie Clark for the marathon.
Yeah, so Millie's run a 2:29.07 in Rotterdam Marathon last year. So she's qualified for the marathon. She's coming back from coming 13th at the World Half Marathon Champs in Wales last weekend. So fantastic race for her for that. And our team came fourth in that race. And I see Eloise Wellings over here in the stands. And she actually has qualified for the 5K for the Olympics, but's not running. She's just recovering from that half marathon last weekend. So she's not running, and Madeline Hills isn't running either. And she's also qualified for this event.
And you can see down there on the line. So these officials there, the lap scorers. So they've each been given an athlete each. They'll record the lap and the time. So there'll be also an athlete down there, an official down there timing each of the laps and calling it out. So every time your athlete crosses the line, you'll write down the split. And all these athletes at the end of the race, they'll probably get their own splits as well from the officials. But we see the race going away. And Millie Clark straight to the lead. Not really her tactic that often, straight to the front.
No, but she's had a good season, and she's run PBs across the board. And even in that half marathon last weekend, she ran a PB over 10K and just gaining like a minute on the on one of the groups that was just in front of her. So she's just having a fantastic. And I like seeing her run the shorter races because often these girls, she's still quite young, so it's good for her to go back down in distance and have a crack at her PB tonight. Yeah,
definitely. So she was only just in Cardiff, like you said, with Eloise Wellings not that long ago. Wellings coming 12th, Millie coming 13th. Only a second between them. And, yeah, back out here for a race 4 times shorter over the 5K.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how she's recovered from that race, because I know when I did half marathons, it was tough for me running 5 days later in a 5K. But, you know, she's having a crack at her PB and having a crack at a national championship. And she's running so well that she does have the ability to win this race tonight.
Yeah, she definitely does out there. I don't think I see Vic Mitchell out there, though. I'm not too sure if I can see her. There's definitely 8 out there, though, so...
Yeah, I think she's out there.
Tucked in there in 5th place. I just don't recognise her without fluoro pink hair or something crazy. It's very understated, Vic Mitchell out there at the moment. Yeah,
Vic Mitchell had the fluoro pink hair at the Athens Olympics, and that's the only Olympics that she's been to. Jen Lacaze of Vic in the steeplechase, and Jen Lacaze was in the London Olympics for the steeplechase, and that was her first Olympics. So those two girls have both qualified for the steeplechase, and they'll also back up for that race on Sunday. But what I think is interesting is Madeline Hills isn't running tonight. At the World Champs last year in Beijing, she ran the 5K and the steeplechase and just missed the final in both. So I think just by specialising in this national championship, I think she's kind of decided, look, I'm going to go for the steeple and I'm going to have a real crack at obviously making our team in that, which I know she will easily, and then having a big crack at the Olympics. And she's another runner, along with Millie Clark, who has just improved so much at these distance races. Madeline Hills run so many PBs throughout the season.
Yeah, 8 years off Hills had.
Yeah.
From 2006 to 2014, and very close to qualifying for Melbourne Com Games, and then ended up coming 4th at the Glasgow Com Games in the steeple. So very talented athlete, and it seems she's just going stride for stride now with all these PBs. But Gemma Maini there at the front, the Victorian, leading the pack.
Yeah,
Clark, Lacaze, Spencer and Mitchell there, the next athletes.
Yeah, just going to the front there, Gemma, and we're just coming to the first K, and it's not going to be too slow, and sometimes these races start a lot slower. 3:11.59, it's not too slow. And to see Courtney Powell at the back there, she's coming back from injury. She won the national cross-country championships last year. So she's one to watch as well, but don't know if she's in her best shape.
Now, Mossy's somewhere out on the track. Mossy, where are you?
Yes, so I'm down here at the start line for this race right here, and I tell you what, it is an absolutely great scene to be a part of. As you see the girls around about 25 metres behind me, and you'll almost feel them brush past me as they come around. They'll be breathing heavy. You'll also feel the sweat, and oh, there we go, the wind just streaming down my back there. Fantastic stuff as we see some of the best athletes in Australia. As we said, 3 of them got qualifiers. Millie Clark, well, could she come out today and run a qualifier as well? She's already got one in the marathon in the bag. This is more her event. Can't wait to see how this one pans out. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Mossy. Getting right in the thick of the action there. Now, with this pace here, obviously there are about 3:11 pace for a K. How much would that differ from a marathon?
Oh, I mean, it's a lot faster than Millie's marathon pace and even half marathon pace. And I don't think they're going to run a qualifying time tonight. It's 15:24. You've really got to be on the pace from the start to run that kind of time. But they're going to have a real crack at their PBs. And Millie's PB is 16:18. So I think she's going to give that a real shake. And these girls, they want a hard run, but it's all for a national championship as well. You know, and if whoever wins this national championship, they're going to go and try to get the time somewhere. You know, and they're going to leave that spot open till the 11th of July when we name our team. So, I mean, national championships, they're tough to win, and there's so many girls here in contention right now.
And especially with like a marathon national championship, if you're not ready at that time to run that, it's not going to be a title that's won very often by these top athletes. They're very rare to do, and obviously marathons, you're not going to do that many a year.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you know, there's something more prestigious about winning a national title on the track as well. And I know any of the distance national titles I've won or the big races I've done, yeah, it's a lot of prestige.
We got Robbo. He looks very, very comfortable down there.
Indeed, Lynchy. This is comfort personified, that's right. And it's the way to do it when you're here at the Australian Athletics Championships. Find the beanbag. We've been spruiking them all night. But here we go. Some of the fittest individuals in the land going around at the moment. And Millie Clark really showing some great form, as the guys have mentioned upstairs. And hasn't she had just a fantastic last 6 months? I would think she's going to go very close to taking a good slice off her PB here tonight. But look, I'll send it back up to you guys to continue to call this women's 12.5 lap, 5,000 metre race.
Thank you, Robbo. Stay down there, stay comfortable. It looks very good. You might be able to get a good sprint finish down there and straight in on the interviews, but still going around. What is this, about 2Ks now as they cross the line?
Yeah, it'll be coming.
There it is, 6:19.80, so it looks a little bit quicker.
Yeah, that second K was a bit quicker. It was it was a few seconds quicker. So they are really having a crack here. And in that pack as well, Jen Lacaze, and she's run PBs across the board from 1,500 all the way to 5K, running 15:41 at the Briggs meet over in Hobart. So she's in good shape as well. And I see Kate Spencer there as well.
Yeah, Kate Spencer there in third position at the moment on those fluoro spikes.
Yeah, they're hard to miss. But these girls, they're all in good shape. And Vic Mitchell, we know she's in good shape as well over the steeplechase. And haven't seen her in a lot of 5Ks, but she's a very good racer and just hanging on to the back there. Yeah,
just Spencer caught just a step outside the rail there at the moment, just running a little bit further. And girls obviously not letting her tuck in, make her do a little bit of extra work. She went to the 2014 World Juniors. She actually got a couple of qualifying times for the Com Games, but obviously they had a few of those athletes there. But there's Jen Lacaze, made her debut at the Olympics, and she was fifth actually at the Commonwealth Games, 2 times national champ over that steeplechase. That 2014 steeple, that's when Vic Mitchell fell into the steeple and then still kicked past the New Zealander and took out the race.
Yeah, Jen Lacaze has had a really good season this year, and coached by Nick Bordeaux, part of the Melbourne Track Club, and we've seen a lot of those athletes running well, and I think they feed off each other. And one of her training partners, Melissa Duncan, came sixth at the World Indoors recently over 1,500. So they're all in great shape, this group. And Millie Clark, coached by James Fitzgerald, Jenny Blundell is also in her group, and gee, he's doing a good job with these girls. Jenny Blundell, a really good 1,500 runner. She's in the final for the 1,500 coming up tomorrow. So I love seeing these distance runners improving, and the strength of these groups, I think, really helps all the people in them. And yeah, it's very hard to be a very good distance runner and just do your own thing all the time. And I think these runners, they feed off each other, and there's a lot of good groups here in Sydney and also in Melbourne. Kate Spencer, coached by Ken Green, Sydney Running Academy as well. So
there, see on the side, Vic Mitchell, Commonwealth Games finalist in 2006, so she's been around for quite some time. Main event is that steeplechase, but we're seeing her over the 5K. It looks like we've had a breakaway pack of 4 now. Gemma Maney's just dropping off the pace, and it's Clark, Lacaze, Spencer and Mitchell. And Millie just really doing all the work, and no one wanting to take the lead after Gemma Maney took it. It's been all Millie Clark since. Yeah,
and when we see Millie Clark cross the line here, we're going to see her 3K split with 5 laps to go. So we'll be able to, once we see the 3K split, we'll be able to have a good idea of what kind of pace they're on. And then we'll be able to predict the 5K finish time. But really, they're going to want to kick on from now to run anywhere near the 15:20s, but it's going to be a bit outside that range.
Well, it's getting quicker. I think it's about a 3:05, so it looks like they've dropped about 3 seconds. 3:11, 3:08, 3:05.
They're doing very well. Yeah, the fastest kilometre of the race there, and Millie Clark is really just pushing it. Jen Lacaze is sticking with her, and as you see these gaps opening up, it just shows that the pace is on. And I know all the fastest 5Ks that I've run, the last 2K has always been the fastest of the race, and you see those really strong runners getting away from the field and finishing well. And these girls are going for it. They're going for it for sure.
This would be a bit of speed work, you'd probably think, for Millie at the moment.
Yeah, it's speed work, but gee, she's a good athlete, and I think she's got so many years of development in front of her that it is really good to see her front running like this and just doing so well and coming straight off that long road race. But Jen Lacaze isn't going anywhere, and I know Jen has talked in the media and talked to people, and I've talked to her coach as well, and her mindset this year is just so strong, and she's a different athlete. I think her racing ability and how she's gone about everything, I think she's just come forward in leaps and bounds this year.
Yeah, so these two really now starting to... that pace is hurting Spencer and Vic Mitchell, and they're starting to lag behind. They've almost got a 15-metre lead. 4 laps to go. And they could be on around that 15:40 pace, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Somewhere, I mean, might be in the 15:30s, low 15:40s. It really just depends on how fast they can finish the last K in. And, you know, they're probably going pretty much max now. But, gee, it's a good run, and it'll be a good finish between these two, I think. Jen Lacaze has run some good 1500s throughout the season, and we probably haven't seen Millie Clark run any 1500s. So Millie Clark's coming from the distance end, and Jen Lacaze is really coming from the sprinting end. So this is what I like to see, these kind of matchups, because they're different athletes coming together to race in the 5K. It's going to be a great finish. Yeah,
it's as we see, they're starting to really streak away from the rest of the field there. Vic Mitchell's now gone into third place, but they're almost 30-40 metres back from these two at the front, and these two just Millie doing all the work out the front. Lacaze just tucked in behind her, not letting her get away. Maybe even moving a little bit out to the side to just have a peek, and I wonder to see when a major move will be done.
Yeah, and this is an interesting time of the race because, you know, when you're within the last few laps, but you're not in the last lap, it's a mental game as well. And Millie Clark will want to be dropping Jen Lacaze, and Jen Lacaze will be trying to keep up. And Jen Lacaze is thinking, when will I make my move? And she might be thinking, I'm too tired to make my move. And Millie Clark is like, I don't want her breathing down my neck. So it is very interesting, and mind games do come into play. And we're going to see them going over to the 200 start line over there with 1K to go. So this last 1K is the make it or break it time in a 5K.
Yeah, we'll see if they can keep up the pace. They've gotten a bit quicker each time. 9:26 was their 3K split. We'll see what they're going to go through 4 kilometres in. Looks like the pace has slowed down a little bit. There it is. So it's still a 3:09, so it's quicker than that first K, but probably the second slowest kilometre so far of the race. So I think that middle 2K really just broke up and broke the rest of the pack.
Yeah, for sure. And I think sometimes that 4th K, it is tough to keep the pace rolling unless you've got a lot of people pushing the pace. But these two girls have really gone for it, and I know this last K is going to be the fastest of the race, and they're just going to finish with all they've got left in this last 800. But these two girls, there's nothing in it, and Jen Lacaze is thinking, do I have enough to make a move and gap Millie Clark? And Millie Clark's just thinking, I'm going to hold on, and I'm going to be running like she ran in the World Half Marathon Championships in Wales only 5 days ago. And she negative splitted that race and ran so fast there. But this is a different pace, a hugely different pace. So Yes, it's going to be interesting. It's an awesome race to watch.
Yeah, it is. We'll see if they can just tack onto each other again. They've really the case just really worked off Millie and let her do the pacemaking pretty much for this race. And hopefully we can see something nice and fast. Maybe even pull Jen through for a PB as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a big PB from Millie, and Jen's PB's 15:41. So we'll see here if Jen can do a PB. But Jen's just biding her time because she knows that she can out-sprint Millie if she can keep up. But Millie's trying to get the gap and down to Robbo.
Yeah, thanks, B. Distance running royalty joining me here, trackside. Elsie Wellings, fresh from great performance at the Cardiff World Half Champs. Elsie, tell us what's going on behind us here.
Yeah, there's a big match-up between Millie and Genevieve, and I think my tip is probably Genevieve in the final lap, given that Millie's a marathon runner, but who knows, she's running really well right now. She's let it out from the front, so it's an exciting race.
Excellent work. I'll let you go and enjoy the final stage of that. Elsie Wellings, back up to you guys. Call it home.
Thank you. There it is. It's just only a step between the two of them. No one's really made a move. Millie still holding down the lead, and Jen just tucked in on the rail. It's going to be interesting to see when they can drop this last sprint and when the move's going to happen.
Oh, it's going to be a great finish, and neither of these girls have ever won a 5K national title.
There it is.
Yeah, Jen Lacaze.
Just holding on, 250 metres left. Millie Clark, marathon runner, now just getting left behind. Unfortunately, that speed of Jen just a little bit too much. Millie's starting to hurt, but Jen really turning it on. This is a big, big kick there. Turning up the leg speed again. We saw it in the 1500s. Just that short burst to get her out in front. She's gapped Millie Clark now, good 15 metres behind. Entering the home straight, she's going to win her first 5,000 metre national title. She'll get close to a PB.
Yeah, it's going to be a great finish, and gee, Jen, she's going to celebrate this. First national title over 5K, and it's fantastic.
There it is, she's happy. 15:43.85. Millie, all the work at the start, a big PB. Put about 30 seconds PB there for Millie.
Yeah, massive.
After just doing a half marathon only a week ago. And there's Vic Mitchell there finishing with the bronze medal. Some tough running out there tonight.
Well, it was a fantastic race, and just between Lacaze and Billy Clark there.